Hey there, viewers and listeners. This is Anthony Avina, and welcome to another edition of the video audio podcast for my reading of Epicenter, the last book I published on Amazon Kindle. I have read, there have been 4 episodes, I believe, of me reading this book to you. We have gone through chapter 1, and today we are going to begin chapter 2. If you are watching this, feel free to comment, like, share, and favorite this on my channel, and please subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to this, please subscribe to the podcast either on iTunes or on Podomatic. I appreciate you guys listening and watching. So without further ado, here is Chapter 2, Sections 1 through 2 of Epicenter. Section 1. Dr. Thomas King lived in a secluded one-story home in the Hollywood Hills. The house was surrounded by a massive iron-wrought fence, with pointed spikes on top to prevent intruders from entering the property. However, intruders would have had no problem seeking out entrance to the premises right now, for it appeared that Dr. King had left the front gate open hastily, as if he were too preoccupied to notice. Jake and I drove through the open gates and into the driveway of the lavish home. The upscale home was a fantastic piece of architecture, with a mixture of steel and glass interior and exteriors that made me feel like I was still on the Sunset Strip. The openness of the home made me think of a car showroom, except for the fact that most showrooms don't have large temperature-controlled pools in their front yard. Jesus Christ, this guy lives here and he's off chopping open people in his spare time? What the hell is the matter with people? Jake asked. I don't know, but it's a little ridiculous that us grunt workers have to live in tiny apartments while possible serial killers get to live in nice places like this. Let's go get the son of a bitch, I muttered, opening my door and stepping outside into the warm air. It may have been October, but it still felt like summer. Los Angeles had been having little spurts of cold weather here and there, but today the bustling city had become a hothouse yet again. Beads of sweat began to drip down my back as we made our way to the front door of the large house, and yet I felt a chill run down my spine, as if we were walking into some unknown hell. Jake walked up to the front door of the large house and knocked on the see-through glass doors leading into the house. Dr. King? This is Jake Timmons and Clark Young with the FBI. We need to speak with you, sir. Open the door, Jake yelled as he knocked. We waited for a minute or two, and then we heard a heart-stopping sound emit from inside the house. As we stood in front of the house, we heard a piercing scream of a woman in pain, as if she were being tortured. The scream was followed by another scream, this one of a man who was also in pain. Jake and I looked at each other briefly, and then we pulled our guns and prepared to charge into the house of horrors before us. Section 2. Jake was the first to enter the home of Thomas King. Kicking the doors in and shattering the glass doors in 2 swift kicks, Jake and I swept the entrance of the house, looking for any sign of the woman and man who had screamed in agony just moments before. We moved quickly through the house, covering dark corners and exploring the house for any signs of life, or death for that matter. After a couple of minutes, we found the house empty. We were at a loss for words as we couldn't find any source for the screams we heard. What the hell is going on here? Jake asked before me. Before I could reply, another scream from a woman erupted through the house, and now that we were inside, we could tell that it was coming from underneath us. Convinced that there was a door somewhere in the house leading into a basement or cellar of some sort, Jake and I quickly scanned the first floor of the house again, and at first we thought that we could not be able to locate the source of the screams yet again. Entering the kitchen, however, which was in complete order and looked at as if it had been cleaned thoroughly enough to sparkle, we found what we were looking for. As Jake got frustrated with our lack of finding anything leading to the source of the screams, he slammed down a plastic container filled with flour that was on the granite countertop. I watched as the air took the flower in the air and pulled it into the crevice between the wall and the large steel cabinet in the kitchen. Without getting Jake's attention, I walked over to the cabinet, studied the steel in front of me, and then carefully pulled the steel cabinet door, revealing not a pantry filled with canned goods, but instead a dark staircase that led into a dimly lit cellar. "Holy shit, partner, how'd you know?" Jake asked. The flower that flew into the air got sucked into a crack between the wall and the cabinet. I knew there was an opening behind that cabinet. Now I know why. "Come on, let's go get this bastard," I replied, smiling and leading the way down into the cellar below. And there you guys have it. That was sections 1 and 2 of Epicenter. I appreciate you guys watching and or listening, if you're listening to the podcast. I know it's been a while since we first read. I have a playlist on my channel and on my podcast profile of the Epicenter readings. So if you want to listen to the first 4 episodes of this podcast series that I'm doing, which is chapter 1, you can go check out that playlist on my channel or my podcast. And if you've been keeping up with these readings, then I hope you guys enjoyed the first 2 sections of chapter 2. In the book, we are only 56 pages into the over 200 page novel that I wrote, or novella. So we still have quite a few more episodes to go of epic goodness, I should say. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. It means a lot to me, the support you guys are giving. And I will see you guys in the next episode. This is author Anthony Avina, and I will talk to you guys another time. Until next time, viewers, peace out.